I mean, it's just unfathomable that the Broncos could be this bad, Perloff. With 11 days to prepare, they have not cleaned up any of the mistakes in terms of the penalties. Russell Wilson just looks completely lost, especially after the first drive or so. The second half was a total debacle. I mean, the Chargers weren't in any great shakes either. So this was two kind of evenly matched teams as it turned out. But, man, that was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Broncos plan to be playing a guy named Damari Mathis, who's four PI or holding calls. Listen, they're getting, and the front line is a little thin right now. Yeah, they have problems. There's no doubt about it. The only exception I would take is I think there's something kind of fun about us all being able to watch these crazy games together. You knew last night was going to come down to the wire very early on.
Yeah.
There's going to be something weird that's going to happen.
I'm going to be honest. I would have never thought that the post-game interview on the field was going to be the kicker.
Oh, Dustin Hopkins is the man. Nicest guy in the NFL.
I mean, he came across that way, but the fact that he was getting all the praise for like toughing it out. Well, meanwhile, it looks like Russell Wilson may have been playing through a significant hamstring injury. We're just like, forget that guy. But the kicker playing with a hamstring injury, now that dude's a hero. And you know what? He was super clutch. The offense could not move. Everyone knew, even though that guy was wearing like a wrap around his leg, everyone knew it was going to come down to whether their injured kicker could make something from 30 plus.
Yeah. By the way, Justin Herbert also kind of looks like he's shouldering through some kind of injury. I do not understand the Chargers offense. I mean, Justin Herbert is 6'6", has the arm of a god, and every pass is 4 yards in front of him. And you're just praying that Gerald Everett doesn't make a huge mistake, which he always does. One of the most talented players. He's so good, and he always makes a boneheaded mistake. And, of course, he made one last night. I don't get the Chargers at all. I mean, you have Justin Herbert, throw the ball downfield.
Why don't they throw the ball to Williams? I just don't understand it.
Well, they had Surtain on him last night was the point, but I don't know. I have no idea what the Chargers are doing. I think their injuries are obviously the Chargers are not going to win a lot of games if Joey Bosa doesn't come back soon. Okay. He is the everything to them.
You and I talked about this yesterday, about who are the best teams in the AFC. And we were really talking about who's the deeper conference, the AFC or the NFC, because I'm like, the NFC just stinks, But you're like, well, who are the best teams in the AFC? I'm like, well, definitely the Bills, definitely the Chiefs. And it's tough because the Ravens are coming off of a bad loss to the New York Giants. And we were like, well, maybe the Chargers. And then you look at the Chargers last night. It's like, this is not one of the best teams in the AFC, not even close.
Well, they're one of the best teams in the AFC, but because they don't have a lot of competition.
I guess, but I would not trust them in a big spot. No chance. I mean, Brandon Staley was lucky that they got away from Cleveland with a win last week because of the boneheaded decision to go for it in minus territory. And now, I mean, last night, that was a gift. That game was 100% ending in a tie until the muff punt. 100%. And that would have been the most devastating outcome of all. To sit through that and to come away with a tie just would not have been fair. Okay.
So wait, you never answered. Who's the third best team?
I think we got a TBD right now. I don't know I don't know who exists as the third best AFC team right now.
Interesting.
If Tua plays well, it could be the Dolphins.
I think I keep maintaining the NFC is just as good as the AFC, based on the fact that they're going to end up with a better record.
Now. I don't know.
They're probably going to be right there in the Super Bowl. Like the Super Bowls are so crazy right now.
Yeah, well, that's.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, do we feel so confident the Bills or the Chiefs are both going to, either one is going to get there and they're going to win? Who knows?
No, who knows? But, I mean, going into the season, at least I'll speak for myself, I was calling the NFC the junior varsity. Besides, like, the Bucs haven't looked great, the Packers haven't looked great, and the Rams haven't looked great. So, your Eagles, and I know the Vikings have a really good record, but who in the NFC is also scaring you besides your Eagles, who are 6-0?
Oh, maybe your Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, my Cowboys. How could I
maybe, but that
playoff team.
But look it's going to be playoff time, and you say you're the Eagles, you're going to sit there and you're going to have to play Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You might have to play Aaron Rodgers. You might have to play the Niners. Like, there's going to be some impossible matchup. It's going to be hard. There's a lot of stats that are coming out this week. There's more parity than ever in the NFL. The average margin of victory is 8.3 points. That's the lowest since 1932.
Wow.
So who knows? Like,
that was a great season, 32.
32 was a good one.
That was a really
I had a great fantasy team, 32.
I made a ton of money just betting only against the spread that year, too, which is crazy because of the margin of victory.
Otto Graham's rushing touchdowns put me over the top in week 16.
We still talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
so my point is, like, there are a lot of bad teams. I think this is the year of the bad team.
Well, with that in mind, Thank you for the segue. On Tuesdays, we always do Maggie's top 5 quarterbacks of the moment. But this week, we do a little bit of a twist because, as Perloff said, this is the year of the bad team. So this week, we are doing Maggie's bottom 5 quarterbacks of the moment, the worst 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, according to me, right now. And again, how we do this is it's just taking the temperature right now of the NFL. This is not history. This is not a legacy award or whatever for this week. In the moment, number 5. Top 5, bottom 5 quarterbacks in the league.
So this is an order from sort of 27 to 32 in the moment.
All the way down to the last of them. And it had to be someone who started last week. Can't be someone who's just on a bench, okay? Number 5, Cooper Rush. Oh, I hate to do it. Cooper Rush, 18 for 38. He did have a touchdown, 3 interceptions, though. That's not great. He was 47% completion percentage. Cooper Rush of my Dallas Cowboys, who I had so much faith in, he is now 5th on the bottom 5 quarterbacks.
Wow, how times change.
I know. That was tough. I didn't want to do it to him, but
yeah. I mean, I think a couple of those were at the end, right, when he was kind of pushing the ball. I still think he did a great job, though, right?
You know, mission accomplished, Cooper Rush.
Totally.
Just like claps for you, but that was a really bad performance. Okay, number 4 on my bottom 5 quarterbacks list, Kyler Murray. Now, the rushing yards make up for it. He had 10 rushes for 100 yards, which I realize not very few quarterbacks can do that. It's basically him and Lamar. But he was 23 for 37, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. They were 4 for 16 on 3rd down, 1 for 5 on 4th down, and he took 6 sacks. And the fact that he did this against the Seahawks, who are one of the worst defenses in the NFL. This was not him facing the 85 Bears. The Seahawks defense absolutely stinks. Now, maybe they'll turn it around, but right now, Seahawks is a bad defense for all the positivity we give Geno and Pete Carroll. Their defense is bad, and they held Kyler Murray to not a touchdown. The only touchdown the Cardinals scored was on a special teams.
So whose contract do you feel worse about right now? Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, or Derek Carr?
Oh, my gosh. Derek Carr looks like a bargain right now. Are you crazy?
Yeah. Actually, I didn't know if I should put Derek Carr in it.
Oh, boy. Well, put a pin in that. Okay, number 3 on my bottom 5 quarterbacks is Carson Wentz. Feel bad doing it because the guy obviously has an injured thumb. He's going to be out for several weeks. But 12 for 22 for 99 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. That stinks. He's got to be on there.
Yeah, but, you know, it's funny. It's better. He had 360 yards in a loss. I think the team would take 99 yards, no picks, and a win.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
kind of like, so honestly, for Carson Wentz, the bar is so low these days that's okay. You know what? We'll take 99 yards. I understand he definitely belongs in this bottom 5 list, but that's not the worst Carson Wentz performance I've ever seen.
The second worst quarterback in the NFL right now, Maggie's bottom 5 quarterbacks of the moment, the man Carson Wentz was going up against on Thursday night, Justin Fields. 14 for 27. It's just brutal. 190 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He did have 12 rushes for 88 yards, so that's a positive. He took 5 sacks. I mean, it's just not getting any easier here for Justin Fields.
So what if the last play of the game, the receiver had caught the ball and he was an inch away from the end zone? If he got in the end zone, they would have won the game 14-12. Would you have switched places with Fields and Wentz on that list?
Maybe he rises to 3 as opposed to falls to 2.
There was at least he had that big run toward the end. That was really cool.
That was awesome.
There are moments of something. There's just no sustained success there. And even the moments of something still kind of look off. But I don't know. I'm not sure. We came into this year, you especially said, you know what, they're not helping this kid at all.
No, I'm curious if they're trying to sabotage him a little bit to get another quarterback in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at Justin Fields, he's 23.
Yeah.
He's 23 years old.
He hopefully has a nice long career in this league, but right now it's not going well.
And the other thing, too, say they do move on from him. Can anyone wear that uniform and be a good quarterback?
Well, the all-orange one or the normal Bears uniform?
Just that C on your helmet. The Bears cannot have a good quarterback. The second Fields went there, you should have seen something was wrong. They're just bad historically. All
right, and number 1 on the list of my bottom 5 quarterbacks of the moment, little twist on this week, Russell Wilson. Oh, I had to take it. The low-hanging fruit, 15 for 28, 53%. That's it in terms of completions last night. 188 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 4 sacks. They only had 4 rushes for 23 yards. I get it, hamstring, shoulder, all these maladies together. This is not what Denver Broncos fans signed up for or what they were sold. It is bad. He right now is my bottom quarterback in the league.
Ooh, that feels tough.
Of the moment, you know.
Yeah. I feel
of the moment.
Do you think because you had higher expectations for him, if he was a 5th round pick, say he was Bailey Zappi and came in and did this for Denver, do you think he would have been the bottom quarterback?
No, of course it's because of the expectations.
Oh, okay.
It's because he's a future Hall of Famer. It's because I think he wanted to go to Denver to win MVPs. All of that stuff plays in, but right now it's just bad. And we'll get the results of the MRI on his hamstring, and maybe he has to take a seat. But this whole thing for the Broncos has just gone completely sideways.
So how do you explain that first couple drives?
I don't know, scripted, and you had the Chargers sort of on their heels?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like there's something in there. It's there somewhere. There's moments. That long pass to KJ Hamler.
Yeah,
there's
that was
moments in there. Then I thought the second half, the pass rush just killed him. Like the offensive line. And I understand I'm seeing a lot of tweets that it was his fault. He should be calling out the blitzes and he's missing guys. So I don't know. I have trouble. Where do you assign the blame? Is it Russell? Is it the coach? Is it the offensive line? Is it the receivers?
Yes. I mean, right now we're doing a bottom 5 quarterbacks list, so he's got to take some of the blame. I was listening closely.
Aikman was eviscerating the receiver staff. They just said they are running, and he pointed out every single route is wrong. It doesn't feel like they're well coached, or I don't know.
Well, there was also a moment though when Aikman pointed out there was a receiver right in front of Russell Wilson. He's like, throw it. So.
Yeah, I know. But how about there was so many times where the receiver would not flat his route, which Russell wanted, and so the guy, what's he supposed to do? Judy doesn't even know when the ball's coming. Once hits him in the head on every play. Jerry Jeudy is probably the most disappointing player in the NFL to me because I thought he was be so good out of it. He is so not good. And where's your guy, Courtland Sutton? What happened to him?
I don't know.
Did he play last night?
There were a lot of things I didn't know that J.C. Jackson got benched in that game last night for the Chargers. Benched at halftime. I mean, I noticed that he wasn't out there, but I didn't realize it was a bench situation. I mean, this is someone you paid a ton of money to in free agency to come over and play for the Chargers defense. So that was surprising. So to recap, my bottom 5 quarterbacks of the moment: Cooper Rush, Kyler Murray, Carson Wentz, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson.
So Russell Wilson threw for 188 yards last night. That is more than I counted 6 quarterbacks who won games.
Yes.
So you don't necessarily need to be prolific this year.
No, Carson Wentz won the game. He had 99 yards.
Yes. Was Russell really that much worse than Daniel Jones has been on any given day, or that Geno Smith was this week, or Marcus Mariota?
I did look at it, and at least Daniel Jones threw 2 touchdowns and no interceptions in a win at home. Big upset win.
So Russ threw 1 touchdown, no picks.
Right. Okay. Zach Wilson, it was hard for me to give it to Zach. I could have given it to Zach Wilson, but a big upset like that, Jets going into Lambeau, it just felt wrong. Thank you for watching our video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, just hit the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Just hit the bell.